What's up guys, I'm Denmir, top 100 Overwatch player, and I'm going to tell you guys how to play Zarya. So, Zarya got some changes of having the ability to use her bubbles basically on herself twice or her teammates twice, rather than just having one for herself and one for her team. It's really strong and allows her to be more of a tank for her team, while also giving her the ability to be more of a like team supporter, I guess. It's very, very powerful, will allow you to hold space really aggressively, and allow you to get super high charge so that you can just absolutely just, you know, frag enemies like I'm about to do here. So you do have the two bubbles, and you can use them on yourself twice. You can play really aggro in situations that you wouldn't really have been able to otherwise, because before you would have had an issue with having, you know, the ability to be punished after you use both of them. Or sorry, you use your personal bubble. So it's really useful to be able to push. Like, as you can see, I keep rotating one onto myself. I don't really need to be helping my teammates with anything in particular, but this is like the main way you'd be using them. The character does have has two different sets of abilities for damage, essentially. You have the main beam that I'm using, and you have the ability to use your Rhine clicks like I'm doing here. I'm shocked we didn't kill anybody in that, to be honest. But it's okay, it gives us cooldown advantage. But as I was saying, there's two different ways to use the damage. You can use your damage for like a consistent single target damage by using the beam right click, sorry, left click. Where is this guy? Or you can use these left clicks, dude, right clicks, sorry, I keep messing them up, my bad guys. But you can use these right clicks to deal damage at distance and into groups. When you do use your Graviton Surge, if you do get a couple people with it, you do want to try and use that right click into it, because you'll be hitting multiple people. And you'll get a lot of value out of it. Ooh, this guy's scary. Like, I'm gonna show it to you guys right now. I'm gonna kite him a little bit more, and then I'll use my my grav. Like that. Just punch into it and hit your right clicks at the same time. It increases your damage output when you punch and you get nice and close to them, so you can get nice one shots. Like, if you do have, like, you hit them and they get grabbed, there's also chances you can kill them through that with the combo, if they get another set of damage at the same time. For example, if like there's a dragon going through it. So something that's really important to do is to really be cautious about, like, not treating your bubbles as if they are just for you getting charge out of. They're really more for holding space. Alright guys, so after that little fight there, my team ended up staggering all of Junkertown, and it's not really worth watching, so we're skipping over to Hollywood here, and we're going to continue on with what we were talking about. So the thing about Zarya, as I was talking about, how you use the space that the bubbles give you to get you space and then get you more charge, and that's really like all Zarya is about, right? Just using a combination of both of these capabilities to earn yourself more space and then get rewarded with more charge in the process. So that's really what you want to be focusing on. Like in a situation like this, when we're kind of just vibing and you're waiting to get your charge, yeah, it's viable, but you can even see, like, right now when I walk up here and start pressuring them, pushing them back, I then use my bubble to continue being in this area and continuing pressuring them. Then I get another one, I pop the next one. Like I said, I don't normally recommend attacking tanks primarily, but Sigmas in particular tend to be very vulnerable to Zarya, so it's not the worst idea in the game ever. But even there, as you saw, instead of me shooting this Sigma, I just walked in and started killing the where you going, bro? Already killing the rest of his team. Easy. Zarya does have a good matchup against Sigma, so, you know, take that as you will, but the ability to just push in, keep maintaining that sort of space control capability, and then keep pushing them further and further back with that is super powerful. Honestly, kind of worth it, to be honest. You can use your ultimate to secure fight wins with big grabs like that. Or you can do what I did and try and fight for a high ground. I just had slightly less HP than I ended up needing. And I might have been able to, you know, secure it if I'd done some right clicks better. But like fighting for a high ground like that is super, super powerful as Zarya. And even it's worth like getting a Graviton Surge there. Partially because it would have been a full fight win, but also would have been a it also would have been a control of like the most important high ground in the game, basically. Like if you get this high ground controlled, you have the whole of this map. Super, 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 super powerful. As I said, controlling high grounds is really viable. Zarya might not seem like, you know, the most high ground oriented character, but you still most definitely are. Having the ability to play up there and control that is something you can choose to do, but I'm low charge, so I want to get some charge. Really, really badly. And then I'm going to stuff this. And yeah, so this character, because she has this super high damage you can amass by controlling space with your bubbles, she's honestly super powerful. You might be like the meta tank in most situations. As you can see in the Overwatch League, she was being played at like a very consistently high number. Her and D.Va, and like there was a little bit of Winston and stuff like that. But just any sort of generally flat map will be kind of free for Zarya. Any sort of little extra farm you can get against something like this character, or on this character really, will help you win fights a lot. Like I went a little bit too far that I'm separated from my team, but the distraction of me being up there is a big deal also, in addition to the fact that I could just chill and spam it at their back line. The ultimate's super, super powerful, so you do want to be charging it as much as possible. So pushing aggressively and dealing damage is the strategy to do that. That's a scary ultimate, but I'm a bit scarier. Something that you can do that I haven't quite been doing a bunch of is using like a right click to finish a kill, just like that. Like I said, it's super valuable. It's super valuable in general just because it lets you secure kills that you were gonna like you got you kill a lot faster. Alright, so now we're playing on Ilios here, and I'll jump right back on what I was saying about the finishing of targets with your right clicks. It's something that I haven't really been doing because, you know, I've been a little bit distracted and I didn't actually have to play a lot of Zarya in Overwatch 1 as a main tank player, but it's still super, super valuable to do. So it's going to be a little bit harder for me on this map right now, just because my character wants to play on a lot of flat ground and isn't going to be too happy about having to be like around it on a lot of angles. Now, my character is a very solid counter to Roadhog. Side note, do you guys see that? I did the tech. we're learning, guys. No, but Zarya is a very solid counter to Roadhog in this, now even more than ever, because Roadhog used to be able to just kind of like watch for her to use her her projected bubble and then could hook anything and kill it. But Zarya, or Roadhog, is kind of potentially like one of the potentially is countered the most by Zarya, right behind D.Va. Just because of the fact that anything that he hooks can be saved. I mistimed that a little bit, and I don't really know how he did end up killing that guy, but it works just like that. You use the bubble and you watch for the Zarya or Roadhog. Whenever Roadhog shows up, you hit him with the bubble. Whenever they hook somebody. That's why it's pretty good to try and hold on to a bubble when you're playing against a Roadhog. If you do really need it to like get your charge, like so it be, right? But if you can try and do that, it's super good. And like I was kind of saying on Zarya, now since there's nothing to really stop you from using your, like there's nothing to eat your grab, you can kind of just toss it. As long as you're like even anywhere is close enough to like do something about it, you can just toss it. Just throw it at somewhere where you're gonna be able to go follow up on it, and then you can just literally frag them. It's kind of insane, to be honest. That's part of why this character is so strong. Oh, well, but you still can die, right? You still do take a large amount of damage if you know a lot of people click on you, right? But there is in general a lot of nuance to Zarya. While it might look like I'm just kind of using my bubble on myself in that one way that I mentioned about like getting charge in addition to holding space, but there's a lot of nuance to like deciding who you want to put it on and planning ahead. When you're playing against something that has an ultimate that needs you to block it, an ultimate or a cooldown that needs you to block it with Zarya's bubble, that's an option, like something to be thinking about. When you're playing with teammates that need to be pocketed or just any sort of like on the fly situation, you kind of have to be thinking about how you want to use your bubbles in regard to that. And so that's what really gives it like so much nuance, right? Like, yes, usually it's just going to be like, all right, let's walk into them and hit them with some damage while we use our self bubbles, right? But there's more to it than that, right? Which is what makes this character really cool. I do think that Zarya is like potentially the most well-designed character in Overwatch, just from a perspective of the fact that her bubble incentivizes you to help your teammates. As I was saying though, the ultimate is so powerful, so you really do want to be farming it as much as possible. Anytime that you've finished a fight, you really want to be like walking forward and just tossing right clicks into the enemy. Now you do of course have to be kind of careful about like letting people sneak up on you like that Roadhog tried to do to me. But even like now in the middle of the fight, you don't ever want to stop like attacking the enemy. And then you get your ultimate, pushing the enemy, use it, and you get a lot of value out of it. We didn't end up following up on it like nearly as much as I would have liked, but yeah. But I ended up making a little bit of a mistake there. I ended up using my bubble on my Moira. That's because I thought that the Genji was going to go for her. But that kind of shows you just like the nuance that this character has in regards to how you use your bubbles. So lots and lots of things you can do with it. Usually it's gonna want to be in yourself though. In regards to pushing aggressively with them though, you always basically want to have one like in store if you can. Obviously that's not going to be like the reality all the time, but in situations where you're not being like hard aggroed and having to protect yourself constantly, you kind of want to have one available, whether it be to like block a Roadhog hook onto you or to save your life. Like having that one extra in reserve is a little bit like having Sigma's eat ability on his hands available. Because it basically means that like any situation that shows up, you're going to be ready to deal with it. And that makes that super valuable. So there's a balance to like how hard you min-max them versus how hard you use them to take advantage of them. But that's kind of how every cooldown is in the game, right? Like there's times when you're just taking damage and you're full charge where you don't have to be like trying to use it as a there's like you don't have to use it, right? You can try and min-max it just a little bit more, take a little bit extra damage, and then pop it so that your team can sustain you through it and have it up a little bit longer. So that is a nanoed Moira, a nanoed ulting Moira. Looks like we might be losing this one. But again, when Honest push you that hard, and they don't even touch the point, I guess you win. So yeah, guys, there's lots and lots of thinking about Zarya. You want to push forward, hold space with your bubbles, look for nice little guaranteed kills that you can get, big kills, but sometimes just guaranteed kills with the ultimate. And think about what also you can do with your bubbles, and always be looking to get ultimate charge and damage on the enemies. If you're looking for some more Overwatch 2 content, then make sure to check out these videos I have right here. Like I said, I'm a top 100 Overwatch player, so I have lots of videos and things to share with you guys.